woke. I hunted, Rob. I hunted for Tobey Maguire's dick.
It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob out there.
You look goofy.
Do you want to take a life? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
Look upon my work and despair.
Has she gone or is she here? Kathleen Kennedy's employment status is queer.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Let's go. It's Monday, which I'm sure most of you already know. I don't know why I have to announce that. It'd be like announcing the time, where I'm at, how you doing, east of the Rockies, around the world. It probably won't. It probably isn't Monday somewhere. No, it probably is. I don't know. More importantly, I don't care. As long as you're here. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the show. What a fucking week. What a year it has been in entertainment. I was thinking about this just like 5 minutes ago. I was pondering. I've been doing this for a long time. Talking about entertainment, live streaming about entertainment. Now, this Monday stream has been going on for almost 2 years, but it had gone on before for many years. The Monday Nooner was a regular thing. Then I stopped because I had to make more videos. Then I restarted because of Rumble. I quite like it. Now it's turned into a square up, but it's kind of a hybrid stream. Whatever. I'm not going to do a business meeting for you guys here. I'm just pondering on, I've been doing this single thing for a long time now, and I'm not tired of it. I'm not tired of it. Now, there are things that we are tired of, which we will get into, but I'm not tired of it. You guys, some people might get tired of me. That's fine. I had a first wife who got tired of me. It's all good. I had some parents who got tired of me. Won't hurt my feeling. Let's see who's here. Dr. Dries. Hello. Shaggy Rogers. Cheka. Dr. Schlurpo. Luke. What am I supposed to say there? Luke CJ76 or something. Giggity. Diggity. Lady Aaron D. Happy birthday, m'lady. I'm going to tip my hat. M'lady. How you doing, Lady Aaron D? And hello. I was about to burp there. Ladybug, how's it going? Darth Yeager. Saint Cimmerian. Lord Castle Hale. Tired retro gamer. How could you be tired? Retro gaming, like that's the only real gaming I do is retro gaming. And I mean real retro gaming. Not like it came out 10 years ago. You know, listen. That's Gary is gay, but our guy. Listen, that's fine. I feel so accepted in this community. Remember that part in Disclosure Day when this is a really good member chat on so many levels. Abigor, I'm going to give you applause. Well done. Well done. That pretty much sums up the movie, doesn't it? What did Drinker call it? Disappointment Day. We saw our boy Drinker on GB News today. We're going to react to that. Him talking about Doctor Who. Because, dude, the UK is talking about Doctor Who. I feel like I wasn't going to make a video. I was kind of done making Doctor Who videos. I think I've got one more in me. And this will be it. Like, kind of like the show. I got one more in me. And I was inspired to do it this morning because the UK is still talking about it. And this is just a cancellation, technically, of a Christmas special, but we'll get into it because there's a bigger picture to get into. I love retro gaming. Galaga is the greatest game ever invented. Listen, I played Galaga last night. I did. You know what's hard? Defender. Defender is a fucking hard game. And always, and maybe it's just me. It's probably just me. But Defender's hard. Yeah, so welcome, everybody. What's up, Psychotic Mongoose? Lord Castle Hall. Is it Hale or Hall? I missed it there, sorry. Big Phrase. And John L. Thomas. And God! Where's the override? Where's the override? Oh, okay. So, admittedly, it's been quieted down with Star Trek, but with Doctor Who and Star Wars in particular in the last 2 weeks, the very harsh, inevitable reality is starting to sink in with the companies, excuse me, that own these IPs. And they are at a complete loss, not for words, but for what to do. For what to do. Because up until very recently, and I know this, it's unbelievable, but believe it, they thought they were on the right path. They thought they were on the right path. They thought that the people complaining about the show were either a small minority or the show was never made for you. The show was always woke. This was always that. This was always that. But if we really get into that, if it was always woke, if Doctor Who was always woke, not progressive, a little left leaning, like, I don't know. Being against genocide is not the domain of the progressive. I haven't met any fascist in my life, and I haven't met any fascists who are like, I really like genocide. It's really awesome. Can't say that I have. Can't say that I have. But watching them try to work it out, I believe I have a clip for this. I do. I played it earlier. I'm going to play it again.
It's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob out there.
That's pretty much what it is. I could just do I could do dodgeball clips all day.
All I know is that dad can play.
I've got one more, but I can't find it. Where is it? It's the have it your way, queer. Where'd it go? Oh, I'll find it later. That's kind of my favorite one. There's doorknob. It's gone now. They just disappear on me, and then they reappear. It is like it's like watching a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob out there. It is, and it's fun. And now we're getting videos, one of the dumbest fucking video streams I've ever seen. And listen, I don't want to pick on the guy because he's disabled. Tharies, who used to be in this chat all the time. Way back in the day. Made a video that says, well, if Doctor Who's going to be fixed, the fans need to be better. And how many times have we heard this? And then Nepo baby Brendan Wayne popped off. Geeks and Gamers has an article on it. We're certainly going to cover that. We're going to predict what's going to happen to Kurtzman very soon. Yes, Nepo baby Brendan Wayne, who is John Wayne's grandson. And I probably could say with good authority that John Wayne would backhand him for what he just said. The problem is not the fans, no, and it never has been, and it never will be. But they just can't work it out in their very closed minds. You see, they think they are the open-minded ones because they like a few select things. A precious few select things. When you make Doctor Who for, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 demographics out there, very specific small demographics, and then it fails, it shouldn't surprise you, but it did. It surprised the BBC. But keep in mind, this is a country that protects rape gangs and wants to protect your childhood by, keeping 16-year-olds from the internet, while also protecting the rape gangs. God, you're fucked, UK. I got to be quiet about that because I need to get a visa. The UK is the greatest country in the world. Keir Starmer's awesome. I can't do it. Can't do it. The British Brainwashing Company. That is very good. Tons of so yeah, we'll talk about the inevitable death of Doctor Who, Star Wars, and Star Trek. The chuds don't get tired of being right. Supergirl's incoming doom, which I think is made worse by the DOJ approving the Paramount Warner Brothers deal, because what else were they going to do? Not approve it? And then Hollywood would cheer as one of those companies died, because one of them would. There's a reason Warner Brothers had to sell. There's a reason David Zaslav was brought in. There was a specific reason, and he did his job perfectly. So Zaslav, respect. Nothing but respect for this guy. He, as our good friend, It's a Gundam, a phrase that I first heard from him, he made Warner Brothers, which at the very best was a gassed up mid, and made it into a 10. And everybody wanted to take Warner Brothers to the prom. And then they found out Warner Brothers had a glamour. And they looked under the hood. But the Nepo baby, the other Nepo baby, wanted it bad enough that he didn't care. He saw some potential in it. Plus, he has the money, or his dad has the money. There was a supposed Avengers Doomsday leak, which was not real, but I think it brings something way more important to the conversation, because aspects of it were based on what people heard from the CinemaCon footage. And I want to point out why Doomsday is not going to be the movie people think it is. Marvel's return to form. Guess we could talk a little bit about Disclosure Day's box office. And what? No. Really? Fox is buying Roku? Fox is going to be right back in the game. I did not see that. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of like Roku. What up? What up? Oh, I don't have any ad reads. You know what? The ad reads are kind of going away. Good. Really good. Yeah, Fox still exists. It's Fox News, and I think that, what don't they own? Not Tubi? One of those. Fluboo's, Floboo, Tubi, Schlurpo, whatever the fuck they're called. Honestly, I don't know the difference between Tubi and Roku. They're kind of, Roku's a little better because it's part of everybody's home theater, but they show the same shit practically. Roku has my classic Doctor Who channel, my Star Trek Next Generation channel that are always playing. So let's get to what do we want to start with? My God, there's a lot of Doctor Who stuff. Hang on. Hold the phone. Well, let's fucking Collider. So apparently, the Collider writer of the article in my Odyssey video from a little over a week ago today, he watched the video and started talking some shit on Instagram, where I'm not going to see it because I don't go on Instagram. And I just want to remind him, nobody polishes the corporate knob like Collider. Guess he got a little mad when I said that. Ooh, there's a Mythbusters channel. I didn't know that. I watched that a lot. I got tired of it. But let's go to, I guess, Collider, shall we? No. God, I can't read them. They're so fucking terrible. Do we have the box office? Yes, we do. Here we go. That's what we'll start with, is the box office. Then we'll get to Star Wars, Star Trek, and all that fun stuff. What's a Collider? Collider, I was never a fan, so I never watched it. I know of some people from Collider, but Collider had, oh God, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Didn't they have at one time John Campea, Jeremy Johns, John Schnepp? Was Harloff there? I know RMB was there once in a while. Chris Gore would guest on it. It was like, I think Jeremy told me they wanted to be the ESPN of nerddom, of entertainment. And I guess for a minute, they might have been on their way. They might have been on their way, and then they weren't. It all fell apart. God, I don't know what caused it to fall apart. Maybe it was egos. I don't know. Maybe the owner, maybe it was a vanity project that the owner didn't have the money for. You guys tell me. But everybody kind of went away. I know John Campea had his AMC movie talk, so he believes he invented movie talk. He really does in the movie talk space, which he didn't, but that's okay. Because people have been talking about movies forever. But yeah, they went their separate ways. It's still around, isn't that Weintraub hack is? But yeah, they were very popular back in the day. Now, mind you, very popular back in the day was having streams that I don't think their numbers ever got above what Geeks and Gamers Daily does. Certainly not what Open Bar and FNT does. And they had a lot of money, and we don't put shit into our shows. I have not seen, I've been waiting to see the first 2 episodes with you, which will happen today. Lots of streaming today. So here's what's going on today. Going to do this show. Got to go look at a truck. Going to come home, watch Clarkson's Farm. And if there is time, I'm going to watch the 2-part opener of Stargate and discuss it. And these are member streams. So there'll be a Clarkson's Farm member watch party and then a Stargate watch party. I'm going to start doing watch parties. I'm committing to this. God, it's going to take a long time. All right, so let's get to the box office. Steven Spielberg, the 79-year-old Steven Spielberg. I said it in my video. We are at the cinematic equivalent of having to take away Grandpa's keys. It's a very sad day. Okay. I remember having to do this with my mom, like for real. And it was not cool. I didn't like it at all. But mom, the whatever the dementia stuff was hitting in, and she was just not, it was not safe for her or others to drive. So we had to take away the keys. And it's very sad. And it's going to happen to all of us if we're lucky. If we're lucky to get that old, our kids are going to go, you can't drive anymore. Shit, that might happen to me in the next couple of years. Disclosure Day touches down with 44 million opening. Obsession defies gravity in week 5. Obsession is that movie that comes around once a generation, not even once a few years, once a generation. And I haven't even seen it, but I can tell you what the cultural relevance is. It's not as big as Blair Witch, because I just don't think movies are as big as they were back in the 90s. But those of us who are around for Blair Witch know the hype for that was unfucking believable. People were running out of theaters. People were passing out in theaters. People refused to go back into movie. Like, it was nuts. What was really helpful with Blair Witch is they did this little documentary thing on Sci-Fi that kind of was a companion to it. To make it like, the documentary wasn't great, but it was to make it feel like this actually happened. And if you plant that in people's head, it makes the hype so much more. Now, I like Blair Witch for what it was, right? This is something different because, by all accounts, this is a good movie. So Blair Witch was cool, and it was a gimmick, and it was found footage, and everybody started using the found footage shit. But this is a movie, so that's where it's different. And I don't know how it doesn't get nominated for Best Picture at this point. It has to. because this movie is saving Hollywood's ass in more ways than one. Because all their big blockbusters are, not all, but most are floundering. Masters of the Universe, a lot of people like that movie. It's a fucking flop. It's a massive flop. And Spielberg, I don't know what the budget was of Spielberg's a different story. It's the end of an era, so it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but again, it's kind of like with Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who. It's the realization that it's been over for a long time. The original summer movie filmmaker met the new generation of directors this weekend with Steven Spielberg Disclosure Day entering the fray amid summer dominated by Gen Z hits Obsession and Backrooms. Spielberg's $115 million budgeted UFO will land. Maybe they should have spent a little more money because the CGI was not just dodgy, it was shit. And land at around $44 million domestically and $93.9 million globally this weekend. A solid start for the filmmaker's first popcorn movie in 8 years since he released Ready Player One. How much of that did he direct? I mean, the VFX supervisor directed most of that. It will become Spielberg's top grossing opening weekend domestically for an original feature, as well as his company Amblin's, I want to say Amblan, biggest original opening. The film is appealing to older audience with a 59% over 35, while 57% of the audience is male. And it will die out. But, listen, people are going to go see a Spielberg movie. That's fine. It's terrible. I have a review on it. It's terrible. And I hate to say that, but I wanted this. It's clickbait. The movie's clickbait. It's not about Disclosure Day. It's a chase movie. It's a chase movie. Curry Barker's word of mouth hit Obsession, which shows that word of mouth is still the best marketing of all time. That will never change. Continues to breathe rarefied air at the box office and is expected to bring in $19 million in its fifth weekend, declining just 25%. Now, I could have seen this movie from the comfort of my home at any time in the last few days. I want to see it in the theater. It will hit number 2 and is the rare movie that has 4 consecutive weekends bigger than its opening. The feature has broken numerous records for Focus, including becoming its biggest movie domestically and globally for the studio. It looks to end the weekend with a domestic haul of $188 million. That's insane. That's insane. But we're starting, once we can break out of horror and get movies like this and other genres, then we're talking about a true indie revolution that we've needed for so long. And you want to know why the indie revolution has been held off? I'll give you 3 letters. DEI. That's what's held it off. Couple little white boys making some movies, doing well. YouTubers. Disclosure Day, 44 million. Obsession, 19. Scary Movie, which wasn't good, 14. Backrooms, 11 million. Masters of the Universe, 8. Then we get to Mango and Grok, which we'll talk about. Michael's doing very well. It's probably going to hit 1 billion worldwide. That's great. The Furious, Garrett liked it. Stop That Train, don't know what it is. Amazing Digital Circus, that's another YouTube thing, right? Devil Wears Prada 2 is killing it. I knew that would do well. You make a movie for women. Although my wife, who adores the first movie, it's one of her favorite movies, said the movie sucked. And Train Spotting in 4K is at 21. I love that. I love it. It's great. It's great. It's almost like we said, you can only do the corporate slop for so long. You can only do the the creatively bankrupt corporate slop for so long. My wife. I saw that. My wife. Saw that from Borat. Well done, chat. You can only do it for so long. And it's strange how things hit the zeitgeist and how they have commonality with the failure of Star Wars and Doctor Who, it being blamed on the fans. But then I saw Matthew Hammond, Stargate not being made because they want to make it for the fans. And then Hollywood scratches their head and goes, wonder what's wrong. Because there is a mantra in Hollywood that you shouldn't make things for the fans. It makes things, fan service is bad. Fan service is bad. You need to give them what they need, not what they want. Now, there's a certain aspect of that is true if you're some kind of auteur making an original film, but they have applied that to intellectual property. Intellectual property is a sandbox that somebody else built. They put in the sand, they made the rules, and the fans, for which you paid for, this is where they're really fucking stupid. When they bought Star Wars, they really thought they were buying Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader and Chewbacca and the rights to sell the toys, which is all true. But who buys all their shit? It is the fans. But they never get to that point. They buy that and they go, well, we make it and now give us our money. Come on. And the fans never enter their mind. The fans are loathed. They're looked at generally in Hollywood as a bunch of mongoloids. Just look at how creatives react to you in all mediums. Look at how they react to you. And then we get this. Now, I could get angry, and I still might get angry. This has been happening for so long. And we're seeing it from two properties that are dying right before, that are realizing they're dead right before our eyes. Not dying, already dead. Companies that own them are starting to realize it now. I love how, who wrote this? Marvin. I love how Marvin worded this headline. Mandalorian suit actor Brendan Wayne blasts toxic Star Wars fans while defending The Mandalorian and Grogu's box office failure. Now, I was kind of putting up for, I was like, Brendan Wayne should play The Mandalorian, get rid of Pedro Pascal. They don't look alike. They don't walk alike. But Brendan Wayne is John Wayne's grandson. So I'm sure Brendan Wayne got this job completely on his own talent to wear a suit and walk around, and didn't get his job because John Wayne was his grandpa. Nepo baby, Brendan Wayne. Now, before we get started here, I want to make it clear that I would never run one of these companies because they never hire me. But if I did, my first order of business would be putting the fear of God into these people. If you disrespect the company or customers, you're gone. If you disrespect the fans in any way, shape, or form, you're gone. You can have your political beliefs and you can spout those off and you can attack a leader. At that point, I don't really care. But once you start going after the people who pay your fucking bills and my bills, you're gone. That needs to be instituted in Hollywood. Because the constant conflation of, and this is in every group of people, always pointing out the worst. It is a fallacy of composition. A fallacy of composition, which is basically you got a couple of bad apples and you're going to blame the whole bunch. There's always going to be people who are trolls, but what they choose to do, they being Lucasfilm, Paramount, in charge of Star Trek, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, the BBC, they choose to pick those 2 or 3 people saying the worst things and apply that to all of you. In the meantime, by the way, they're calling you toxic fans, but it's totally okay to call you a misogynist, a Nazi, a fascist, a bigot. That's fine. But don't call them a bag of sticks. But it's that constant conflation, that constant bunching everybody up. A fandom that's generally good. Most fandoms are generally good. And there is a thing called toxic positivity as well. But the fallacy of composition is what we constantly see from these freaking twats in access media and from some of the fans who have, content creators who have hung on. And in particular, it is content creators who have hitched their channel wagon to one franchise almost every time. Every time. And I'm talking specifically about Tharis, who put in his thumbnail blaming Doctor Who fans. He put all the worst terminology in it. It's like, oh, I kind of seem to remember your side calling all of us a bunch of fucking Nazis and fascists, but that's cool, right? That's cool. Okay. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it does bother me when it's put to you guys who have supported Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who for years and made it what it is. See, the reason it's worth billions or was worth billions is because of you. And it's really strange that these companies buy these IPs for the built-in fan base, and the first thing they want to do is piss you off. Look at Stargate. We also need to keep in mind how you have been treated for the last 10 years. Let's keep that in mind as we read this, shall we? The blame game surrounding Disney Star Wars struggles is showing no signs of slowing down. And now one of the actors behind Din Djarin himself is weighing in. Brendan Wayne, one of the performers who physically portrays the Mandalorian in The Mandalorian and The Mandalorian and Grogu. God, titling's a lost art. The Mandalorian and The Mandalorian and Grogu is drawing criticism from fans after describing portions of the Star Wars fan base as toxic. Any grown-ass fucking man who isn't gay, who uses that word unironically, is gay. While simultaneously defending the disappointing box office performance of Lucasfilm's latest theatrical release. The comments come as The Mandalorian and Grogu continues to be viewed by many as Disney's weakest theatrical Star Wars launch. It is the weakest. It will lose the most money. It will generate the least money. It's not even going to hit solo numbers. It's not even close. It's going to be on VOD in, what do you think, chat? Next week? I said beginning of July. Let's be nice. It's on VOD around the 3rd of July. I know they said they were going to have it was 90-day window. Shit, no. Hell no. The comments come as The Mandalorian and Grogu continues to suck. Despite being positioned as the triumphant return of Star Wars to theaters. No, they've pushed the goalpost now. That's going to be Star Wars Starfighter. That's when Star Wars is going to turn it around, guys. Going to happen any second. A years-long hiatus that was almost 7 years, by the way. The film struggled to generate the kind of excitement Disney and Lucasfilm had hoped for. Speaking in a recent interview highlighted by Star Wars Holocron on X, Wayne argued that some fans have become overly possessive of the franchise and are actively rooting against Star Wars projects because they no longer feel connected to the direction of the brand. I think it's completely fine to speak out that you don't feel connected to a brand you have loved all your life. And you know what? You fucking idiot. You're taking the time to use your voice to go, I've been a longtime customer. I want to keep being a customer, but I can't be if you keep making this shit. As a small business owner, one of the worst things is to quietly lose the customer. When the customer cares enough to tell you to fix your shit or tell you a suggestion, you fucking listen because the customer's always right, even when they're wrong. You treat them like they're right. And you treat them with respect. And sometimes they did have some great ideas, right? I got some great ideas from customers. But it's that customer who just goes, oh, fuck them, and walks away quietly. That's the vast majority. And that's what's happened to Star Wars. And you bought Star Wars, Disney, because it was filled with fans who felt very possessive of it. You take the good with the bad. And there's far more good. And the thing is, they weren't the hardest people to satisfy. You had to really work to fuck up this much, to alienate this much of the biggest cinematic intellectual property fandom in the world that will ever exist and will never exist again for an American company. It's interesting to see people who are pulling against the franchise that they love just because of their ownership. Man, he was fed this bullshit because I've heard this for so long. So this empty-headed fucking chuckle fuck, nepo baby, adult pretender who isn't even good enough to like use his words is regurgitating the same fucking shit we were hearing 10 years ago. I said I wasn't going to get mad. That wasn't entirely true. That could be 100% toxic in the Star Wars world. It's to be present and to watch it. And if you don't connect, cool. But we don't need to hear how bad you are. This is fucking America. America that used to be symbolized by your granddad. Who played Genghis Khan, okay? That they ruined your Star Wars. They didn't ruin your Star Wars. It's our Star Wars. Oh, my fucking God. And there's Ryan looking just disgusted. I mean, that's his resting face right there, but he's looking properly disgusted. Jay just looks glad to be there. I'm gonna be real. He just looks glad to be there. Look at Gina. I'm a happily married man, and she is a very pretty young lady. That's all I'm going to say. The final line in particular has generated significant backlash online, with many longtime fans arguing that criticism of the Disney era Star Wars is not rooting in toxicity, it's disappointment. For many viewers, the issue isn't that they want Star Wars to fail. It's that they believe Disney and Lucasfilm have repeatedly failed to live up to the standards established by George Lucas' original 6-film saga. So, We are rooting for Disney Star Wars to fail. Absolutely. They have earned it at this point. I'm absolutely enjoying it. I'm rooting for it. That's the only thing I care about right now is their failure. Fuck them. They've had plenty of chances to turn it around. But when behind the scenes, when these motherfuckers tried to deplatform channels through other channels over criticism, that's where I lose any fucking sympathy. Get fucked, burn down. I don't care. Fire everybody. That's the only way you're going to fix this shit. And you've been blaming the fandom for years for your failures. It is our Star Wars, motherfucker. Until it's not. And then it goes in the vault for you, because once it's not ours anymore and we stop paying for it, it doesn't exist. And the thing is, Star Wars, for the Christian Harloffs out there who busted their ass being a Star Wars fan for years, when we were younger, it was like the one sci-fi thing that was almost considered cool. You'd still get picked on for it, but it was almost considered cool. Star Wars was always cool. Even when it started fading a little bit when the prequels came out. But with my generation, it was considered cool. Right? But like, it didn't lose its coolness after the prequels. Actually, it grew a little bit. Star Wars is not cool anymore. People look at your brand and roll their eyes. That is not Star Wars. That is Disney Star Wars. Star Wars has not failed. Disney has failed. What are we rooting for? We are rooting for the failure of the people who are in charge of Star Wars. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Pablo Hidalgo to get fired. I'm rooting for Dave Filoni to get fired. I'm rooting for Kathleen Kennedy to get fucking fired. Absolutely rooting for it. 100%. Go fucking work somewhere else. See what you're qualified at. Pablo Hidalgo. Remember when Pablo Hidalgo backed up the people who started a GoFundMe against Gina Carano? Remember when Pablo Hidalgo was liking tweets who were tangentially, not so tangentially, completely connected to the people who were trying to deplatform this channel? Yeah, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. And the thing is, you could have taken down our channel. You could take down Ryan's channel. There would have been 50 more that came up. It wouldn't have stopped shit. They made it personal. But they made it personal a long time ago when they started inventing this term toxic fandom. Remember when you were Russian bots and a small minority, and then that rewriting Ripley thing came out and it looked like we fucking groomed Ryan? You know, Ryan's always been like that. Okay. Just keep in mind. And yeah, we've gone through this journey together for many, many years. And the only thing left to be said is and it's a question, how fucking stupid are you, Disney? Dave Filoni's in charge. Everybody who was under Kathleen Kennedy is still there. How are they going to fix the problem when they created it, when they are the problem? The answer is they can't. And you don't know what to do. And you're afraid to fire them because you're afraid of your own employees. But everybody should look, it's terrible, but it should be cleaned out completely. But they won't. But we're not necessarily, the Star Wars that we love doesn't exist anymore. So I'm rooting for this zombie to be killed. I'm tired of you reanimating this corpse. And everybody involved in reanimating the corpse, I would love to see them fired. If any of us sucked at our job as much as they did, we'd be fired from our fucking jobs. Fans pushed back against the narrative. The reaction online was swift. Many fans pointed out that they have enthusiastically supported Star Wars projects they believe are well made while criticizing. You don't need to defend yourself, fandom. You don't need to do this anymore. You don't need to put in qualifiers. Fuck them. They want you on your back feet all the time. You don't need to say shit. You know what? Go, yeah, we want you to fail. You're terrible at your job. You deserve to fail. This is, we still live somewhat in a meritocracy. You don't have to go, I like some stuff. It's like, I'm not racist. Fuck that shit. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You like good stuff when it's good. You like or you hate bad stuff when it's bad. This is all bad. All of Disney Star Wars is bad. None of it is great. There might be a good thing here and there, but none of it is great. They haven't made anything great. Star Wars used to be great. One recurring argument is that if Star Wars fans were truly determined to hate everything, Disney producers acclaim projects such as Andor and the Jedi video game series would not have received the overwhelming positive reception they enjoyed. Yeah, you're going into their argument. You're going into their argument. Fuck them. Fuck Star Wars Holocron and all these little fucking knob polishing accounts out there. They have been part of the problem too. They wanted to maintain their access with their toxic positivity, so they're willing to throw you under the bus without realizing that they're attacking fans too. They need fans too. If you want to be get any kind of attention online using somebody else's brand. The Mandalorian and Grogu star Brendan Wayne with the perfect take about toxic Star Wars fans. Is it? You know what? Star Wars Holocron, I can't wait, it's happening right now, for you to dwindle into obscurity. And it's all life lessons. Maybe you'll learn something from it. Maybe you'll learn that you don't want to, if you want to talk about entertainment, don't hitch your wagon to one fucking IP. It's not a good idea. Wayne also defilmed. I don't even hear this. How are you going to defend the film's box office? It's not going to make $400 million. The real debate isn't about toxicity. The larger issue raised by Wayne's comments is one that has become increasingly common across modern entertainment. The fans reject a movie, television series, or video game. Are they acting out of toxicity, or are they simply expressing dissatisfaction as paying customers? Well, we know the answer to that. Many Star Wars fans would argue that criticism is not only fair, but necessary and deserved. After all, some of the franchise's most beloved projects emerged precisely because the creators listened to the audience feedback rather than dismissing it. Whether one agrees with Wayne or not, his comments are likely to reignite an ongoing debate that has followed Star Wars for years, who ultimately owns the franchise. Well, you know what? You do. Disney. You do. It's all yours. It's all yours. You can have it. You can keep it. Keep doing what you're doing and see how many fans you have left. It's all yours. You spent billions and you've put a lot of hard work into completely fucking it up. So tip to the hat. Enjoy the future. You dumb fucks. Let's go over to some more dumb fucks. We got Stephen Moffat, or let's do Russell T. Davies first. Okay. I think I have this. I have a tweet. A post, whatever we're calling it nowadays. If I could find it, I bookmarked it. There it is. So what's next for Doctor Who? I just saw Drinker's video. Silence. Silence. Nothing. There's nothing they can do. Absolutely nothing. I will go over my suggestion later, but they're not going to do it. I saw Chat Noir. She's trying to be very nice about this, and I appreciate that. That's not going to fix it either. No, it's because of the arrogance of twats like this. Here we go.
Go ahead and call it cancelled if you want. You're wrong. You're literally wrong.
The show is not cancelled.
I know, it's extraordinary to see newspapers who should know better seeing the show has been cancelled. It's the opposite. It's been put out to tender.
Yes.
And I understand that's an industry
It's be put out to Tinder.
phrase, and people might not understand what a show being put out to tender means. Equally, at the same time, those people are complaining on devices which have a search engine. Go and look it up. But being put out to tender means
It's this attitude that really won him over so many fans.
and this will happen to every BBC show. It's happened to Casualty. It's happened to The Weather.
The Weather?
The Weather was put out to tender. You know, The Weather now is not made by the Met Office.
Oh, I
BBC.
thought it had gone back.
Oh, has it gone back?
Oh, we're going really into
Oh,
like
I
the
missed now. We're
nitty
getting
gritty
into
of the
tenders now.
BBC now.
Well, what it means is the program is pitched to be made by an independent company.
Yes.
As opposed to the BBC. Independent companies include BBC Studios, by the way, which
Right.
is separate to BBC Public Service.
Mhm.
So they're in the running. I imagine. I don't know. I'm not part of this process because it's a very legal process. But it's happened to Casualty. Casualty has been sitting there for years as a BBC show. It was put out to tender last year. Now it's good. That's going to be made independently by BBC Studios. So the same thing is happening here with Doctor Who. And I think I'm not in charge of this process. That means many years ahead, no one's going to put out to tender. No one's going to apply for a tender for 1 year. It's not worth it.
Yeah, you've
I
got
think
to
this
lock in.
guarantees you've got to lock in just to make it financially worthwhile. So
So it's, hey guys, it's not canceled. They just fired everybody and stopped making it. All right, just to be clear, not canceled. They just fired everybody and stopped making it, and now they're trying to sell it to other people so they can make it because the BBC by themselves can't make it. But totally not canceled. There's no desire in the fandom or from the general audience to actually watch the show, which would probably give it its value for a company while it's in tender to buy it and make it for multiple seasons, RTD, but it's not canceled. It's coming off the worst ratings in the history of the show, and people look at that brand, just like Star Wars, as a fucking joke. I'm sure people, you know what? The only companies dumb enough to take it are Amazon or Netflix. And I don't think they're touching it. Dumb enough to take it and have the money to make it. Now, I know there was a rumor with AMC. They don't have a lot of money. I don't think they're going to commit. So we'll see. We'll see. Poor old Stephen Moffat's out there saying it isn't canceled. These guys are trying to preserve their legacy, right? It's totally not canceled. Dude, RTD, you were at Disney. They gave you more money than the show had ever had, and you wanted to use it to make a statement, and you were just throwing dirt on its grave. Throwing dirt on its grave. You know, my channel got its first, I don't know, bump, we'll say, from talking about Doctor Who. I've been talking about Doctor Who for a long time on this channel, on all my channels. Going on 10 years, little over. Technically, my very first recording was a review of Time of the Doctor. I don't think that recording exists anymore, but that was the very first recording that kind of like led into other things. Now, with Doctor Who's future, the only future it could possibly have is to sit for a while, and then what do? Do you pick up where you left off? Do you retcon or do you reboot? The only choice is retcon. Rebooting, you will get the same thing. You will get the exact same thing that you got from Russell T Davies. Rebooting is not the way to go. I think Chat Noir put up a tweet today saying that, you know, out of respect to all fandom, the Jodie fans and the Shooty fans, all 10 of them, that you put their eras in like a pocket universe where it still kind of exists. I'm not totally against that, but the problem is the fans of which exists, the fans of Jodie and Shooty would not be okay with that. And more importantly, the BBC would not be okay with that because they think they did right with that. That's been their problem. And that's being very, Chat Noir's nice. She's being very generous. I say, fuck them. They had their chance and they turned on the show. And listen, those fans would come back to a Doctor Who that cut out all that shit. They would. The vast majority of them would. If you retconned everything to Capaldi, you would get a bunch of fans back. You would never get everybody back. And it would never have the general audience success that it had around the 50th anniversary when it was really going gangbusters here in America. Just to paint a picture, in America, we have these drugstores called Walgreens. And they're on every fucking corner. They are everywhere. And within these Walgreens, there's little teeny toy sections. In those little teeny toy sections in Walgreens, you could get Doctor Who action figures. There was a Doctor Who section in every Barnes & Noble. Toys R Us started stocking, when it was around, Doctor Who action figures. That's something you never fucking saw here, ever. Remember the little, when right before they stopped making them completely, they went from 5 inches to, ladies, to 3.75 inches, which is really disappointing. All of that's disappointing to the ladies. But yeah, they did those smaller action figures and the smaller TARDISes for a while. Yeah, that's gone. It dominated Con for a couple of years. Doctor Who was the dominant force at Comic-Con. Look at this size queen. Yep. Yep. And Doctor Who had done something remarkable. They captured a couple of generations. So what happened here is, whether this was planned or not, there was always BBC America, and there was always a way to watch Doctor Who on PBS. But then they put it on Netflix, and I believe this was 2008 or 9 when they started streaming regularly. Can't remember the exact date. But they put all of modern Doctor Who on Netflix, and that everybody started watching it. It was a great move. And it hit its peak at the 50th. It was insanely popular here. And it'll never be that again. But if we genuinely want to fix Doctor Who, you need to go what Russell T Davies calls wrong. Because he calls traditionalism wrong. And it is to him. And this is the saddest thing. Russell T Davies, before the bitterness, was really a great example of somebody who is gay, who made it, and didn't vilify people. But then something happened. I don't know if it was when his husband died of cancer, or he was just putting up for his friends, or trying to protect his legacy, or he was always this way. I don't fucking know. I don't care. Then he became this bitter fuck whose whole intention to come back to Doctor Who was to flip the fans the bird. I watched, along with Disbrew, every fucking episode of his run multiple times for my for ultimately, which became like 3 reviews, but whatever, you do your research. And planted in every single episode, whether it was just a fleeting line or a moment or an entire episode, you could see the hatred he had towards the fans. And that was baked into the series to the point where hashtag RIP Doctor Who became canon. I could not fucking believe it when I saw that. And I'll tell you the story of RIP Doctor Who. So there was a thing called Parrot Analytics back in the day. It's still around, Parrot Analytics. And what it did was it judged the show's popularity by online interaction, and it didn't really decipher between good or bad. Now, this is before AI. And listen, I'm not sure I completely understood the assignment on this one, considering that the term Doctor Who was still in the hashtag, but I started using, and this was initially because of Star Trek. So I started using RIP Star Trek and RIP Doctor Who as hashtags. So it wouldn't be counted in that Parrot analytic. But yeah, I just started doing RIP Doctor Who once the Timeless Children was that, like, it was dead. It was dead. Say goodbye. So for that to get fucking picked up in the show is surreal and insane. Now again, Parrot Analytics probably still counted it because it was Doctor Who was still in the terminology. But if you remember, we used hashtags back in those days. They're not cool anymore, apparently. But it was all one word, RIP Doctor Who. And I just put it on everything to annoy them and to remind them that they killed it the minute the Timeless Children came out. And I knew the Timeless Children was coming out for a year, a little longer. I'd have to be reminded on that. A little longer. I knew that was happening because I had a buddy who worked in with a toy company that worked with them, and he was given a lot of information so they could make toys. And the minute he heard that, he called me. He's like, "Bro." And what was that rumor? That when Jodie Whittaker came in, the first female doctor, they absolutely knew that this was just going to be an era of Doctor Who people can skip. So we need to cement her legacy into the canon, and they were going to change the origin of the Doctor. And that's exactly what their motivation was. That's exactly why they did it. And then they did it. So that's why it's the most, I can't say murdered. It committed Mary suicide. It committed suicide. It was killed. But it's why it's the worse off than Star Wars, worse off than Star Trek, because they actually went back into their own canon and changed the origin from the late, great William Hartnell as the only first Doctor and made it into a little black girl. And it was purely it was a decision based on activism. And that's when I knew it was dead. So yes, they've sacrificed another thing we love on the altar of the message. Kai Guy. That's exactly what happened. Ugh. The thing is, it's difficult to, I know people want to have hope, but the only thing you should hope for as a Doctor Who fan is to let it fucking rest and make people miss it if they will. Like, I still miss old Doctor Who. I still watch old Doctor Who. I miss it, of course, but not enough people miss it. And if you rush out to try to fix it too soon, especially with the buffoons who are at the BBC, it's just going to make it worse. It's just going to make it worse. And even when they kind of fix something, if you apply it to all these companies, they don't know what to do. Like I don't love Andor, but there's aspects of Andor that are really good. And if Disney had acted on them, it's still too late to fix shit. It is. You can't put the milk back in the titty. So reboot is the only option you have, and I just hate that option so much. And the thing is, we're seeing this with Masters of the Universe. These are Gen X franchises. Yes, some millennials like them too, blah, 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 and they were able to stay longer, but essentially they're really fucking old. And they've had their time. It's just a damn shame what happened, because I fucking love Doctor Who. I've got classic Doctor Who playing on that TV right now from Roku. I just rewatched seasons 5 and 6 with Matt Smith. God, he's great. And it's sad. It's really sad what happened to our show because a bitter gay man had a grudge. That's pretty much where it's at. Oh, shit. I just spilled my water. Oh, shit. Hang on. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. That's all right. You can't see that. It looks like I pissed myself. Maybe I did. There's no use crying over it. You're right, Snex. There is no use. At this point, it's like, fuck them. You know, when fans are, in their terminology, being toxic, no, they're caring. That means they still care. When you have Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers making fucking 10 Last Jedi videos every day, that means he still cares. It's when they stop. That's when you got the real problem. It's when they stop. And you find out the Tharis of the world, or the Mr. Tardises of the world, aren't the kind of fans that are going to keep you going. The kind of fans that are going to keep you going are, well, the normies make everything go around. But they were fans like that are in this chat. Oh, and they're going to love that they got mentioned. Look, Mr. Retardus. I mean, you can go watch the content for yourself and judge for yourself. You certainly can. But the problem is not the fans. The problem is Russell T. Davies, Jane Tranter. God, I wish I had that video. Hang on. Where's that Eccleston video? I did bookmark it. Yes. Haha. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Christopher Eccleston is, I think, bipolar. So that's why we get like some really fucking great takes from him and some complete shit takes. But this is a good one, baby. This is a good one.
Sack Russell T. Davies. Sack Jane Tranter. Sack Phil Collinson. Sack Julie Gardner. Sack Russell T. Davies.
And he follows that up by saying, I'll come back. You know what, bro? I'd take you back. I'd take you back. Fuck yeah. I will say Eccleston's 1 year performance is the best single performance of a doctor, and consistent. Like the PTSD doctor is really fucking good. It's really good. It's so good. Again, and like I am not going to I'm not going to justify their accusations with a response. I don't give a fuck if you call me toxic. I don't care. Now, it's probably not a good idea to call the fine people in the chat toxic who love the show, or people like Chat Noir toxic who adores the show and has been very nice and respectful. I don't care if they call me toxic. I'll take the brunt of it. I'm fine. But fuck, screw them. You fucked this up. The fans didn't fuck this up. And Star Trek is like Kurtzman is done. Like he is cooked. The only reason they haven't announced it is because we still have 3 seasons of his shit to come out. We have a season 4 of Strange New Worlds, a season 2 of Starfleet Academy, and a season 5 of Strange New Worlds. Then he's gone. And Star Trek is fucking done. They're old and there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to fucking go. Now, people will go, well, with Star Wars, you can do KOTOR, or with Star Trek, you can go in the future. The thing is, though, you're bringing in all new characters. There might be some familiar iconography, but that's a big risk because these things are really expensive to make. And the same goes for Doctor Who. These are a big risk. So say AMC picks up Doctor Who. And they even get like a normal doctor and a normal companion. And they put it on AMC Plus. Nobody's going to watch it. The hardcores, I might go back and check it out out of curiosity. But most people are just fucking done. And it's not like you just made a bad show. BBC, Lucasfilm, Paramount with Star Trek, Kurtzman Trek. You made a bad show. And you also attack the fans consistently for 10 years and use the media to attack the fans consistently for 10 years. They're going to remember that. They're going to remember that. And considering none of you have ever apologized for it, felt the need to apologize, or even think you did anything wrong, they're going to remember that too. And it's really easy for them. They'll go, I'll just spend my money somewhere else. And that's what they've been doing. So Nepo Baby Wayne and RTD and even Stephen Moffat, who played his part, disappointing enough, played his part, and Alex Kurtzman, they're all yours. Rock on. An entire new generation is going to go be interested in entirely new things that you can't touch. Yeah, it's time to create new stuff. And like, listen, there's another franchise out there that's huge that there's multiple anime and manga franchises out there that are absolutely huge. That's what the next generation is getting into, and some video game stuff too. But this stuff, our stuff, it's had its time. It sucks, but that's why when all this happened, it's like, do I make another Doctor Who video? I kind of said my goodbye in the last one. Gundam? You mean Transformers? Just triggering people there. Oh. Hang on, I got to respond to Mahler. I watched a early review of House of the Dragon. Charlie from Emergency Awesome did a spoiler-free review of House of the Dragon, the first few episodes, and I heard more than I needed to hear. Way more than I needed to hear. They're completely going off book, and as the wars start, they really move away from particularly Alicent and Rhaenyra, and it's just a bigger cast of characters. They're still just going to focus on those two women are the main characters. So they've invented this way to have Alicent be involved in the show more than she should. And it just and even Charlie from fucking Emergency Awesome said, well, if you didn't like the Alicent Rhaenyra scenes from season 2, you're probably not going to like season 3. I'm like, welp, fuck. But there'll be amazing dragon scenes. Yeah, so I'm just going to spoil it for you, unless you plug your ears. Here, I'll put up spoilers. I'm going to tell you what they're doing, because the leaks were true. The leaks were true. Where'd it go? So I'll put up the spoiler banner for this. A character that you love will be dead within the first 2 episodes. And I won't say who that is, but Alicent will be on the council, on Rhaenyra's council. She's supposed to be prisoner. She's supposed to be held prisoner once Rhaenyra is taking over King's Landing. Okay, they made it pretty clear in the trailer. She takes over King's Landing, and then Alicent is prisoner, and she's gone for the rest of the story. But because whammon, they need to make it focused on her, on those 2. So she's going to be part of the council, and she's going to be there the whole time. And it sounds terrible. It sounds utterly fucking terrible, but hopefully I'm wrong. We will be covering it every week, starting the 21st. So in 6 days, Fringy, Shad, Ryan, Mahler, me, and then we're gonna rotate some other people in. I think we'll get Nerd Cookies for an episode, maybe those homos at Our Hills Hurt, and we could just have a debate about why Brendan Rivers is the fucking GOAT. Yeah, we'll bring in we'll rotate some people in. There we go. See, now chat's got it right. Blackwood over Bracken. Don't ever forget that. No Nettles. Yeah, no Nettles. Oh, Metatron's going to be on for Odyssey. Metatron is going to take time out for making 100 videos about Christopher Nolan to join us to talk about the Odyssey for the review. I'll be in Wisconsin starting Saturday, so I'm going to have a new background for a little while. The other background, going to have that for the summer. No Nettles is a travesty. For those of you who don't know, and this is fucking funny, so that's why I'm telling the story. For those of you who don't know, the one canonical black character in the fucking story is named Nettles. So she is a dragon seed. So somewhere along the line, she's a bastard of some Valerian, some Targaryen, whatever, because she's on Dragonstone. And that was the island where the Targaryens that's their home. And she's a black girl. And she's the one person that they know of in history who wasn't a Targaryen or wasn't fully of, she had to have a little blood of the dragon. But she just tamed a fucking dragon. She just brought it out sheep. She brought it out some sheep to eat. And over time, she trained the dragon. Now, I'm forgetting the daughter that they gave a role to. Which one was it? But she's a commoner. She's small folk. And she's kind of an important character because he's later on, because she becomes one of the more loyal dragon seeds. She develops a relationship with Matt Damon Targaryen. Not Beyonce. Why am I forgetting her name? It's one of Damon's daughters, right? So they gave Nettles' role to one of Damon's daughters, who finds the dragon sheep stealer in the Vale. So they took it from Dragonstone, they moved it to the Vale. So they race swapped the Valerians and then took away the one canonical black character from the fucking story. That's the funny bit. That's the funny bit. And listen, people are going to look back. There's parts of the show I really like. Bela, thank you. Bela. There's parts of the show I really like. There's some aspect, particularly season 1. The series is fucking awesome. But when the show moves to the women, it just goes downhill. And fucking Matt Smith rules in it. And they had him fucking around doing nothing, and he's still better than everybody. And what really upsets showrunners and maybe even George is people will focus in on the more interesting characters, which in this show in particular, it's mostly the dudes. A lot of people love to say they're into Rhaenyra. I don't think she's even in the top 5 best characters in this show. Honestly, I think Alicent's better than Rhaenyra. I think Alicent's better than Rhaenyra. I think Millie Alcock did a better job playing young Rhaenyra. I think she was way more interesting. But Rise Only fans as Otto Hightower is the GOAT. Patty Constantine as Viserys was the GOAT. And as soon as they're gone, the show goes downhill. I mean, come on. Yes, the younger versions were better, but of the older versions, the actress playing Alicent is better than non-binary woman. I guess that's a contradiction in terms, right? Non-binary woman. She's fine, but yeah, she ain't great. No, Aegon, young Aegon, he's fucking good. And he's a better character in the show than he is in the book. He's good. But listen, it's going to be presented as all the men are fighting and the women are trying to stop the war. That is not how it went down in the book. Okay. And these are drawn from some short stories that George did called Dangerous Women, right? But there's also The Rogue Prince, which is Matt Damon Targaryen. And the one thing, George is a feminist, but he never... And in his stories, there's certainly some women who have plot armor, but he never does what they've done in the show. Like he'll write the women as complete fuck ups. I mean, he wrote Cersei Lannister, for fuck's sake, and she was an idiot. He lets characters be real, right? So, based on what I've heard, I was critical of George in the breakup with Condell. I might be on George's side a little bit now. I might be on George's side because holy fuck. Again, it looks great. It looks fantastic. This might be the best looking fantasy show ever on television. But fucking my God. And then we have there's going to be a trans person in it. But canonically, they're kind of trans. So we'll see how that works out. They were presented as flamboyant. I always kind of took it as just gay, but you know. The thing is, there are canonically trans people in A Song of Ice and Fire and in Fire and Blood, and they're both evil fucks. I know. It's like kind of trans. Well, I mean, isn't trans just the very definition of kinda, Mr. Shenanigans? If we're really thinking about it. Okay, maybe kind as being too kind. Maybe it's being too kind. Oh, no, Mushroom was dumb as fuck. Mushroom would have provided the show what it desperately needs, levity. And you know what, Lady Aaron D? He should be a narrator. They should have made Mushroom a narrator. And they should have hired that guy who fucking hates oh, God damn it. Hang on. Oh, I'm trying to figure out his name. Who? Okay, this is the weirdest Google ever. Who is the midget? Who is the midget who hates Peter Dinklage? I talked to him once. Let's see if they answer. It's not answering right now. He's a wrestling guy. I talked to him on the Snow White thing. Oh, come on. You're letting me down, brave AI. Let's go to Grok. Maybe Grok will answer this question. I know you've already answered it in the chat, but now I'm like really curious to see if AI will get this right. Because I'm very specific with this question. Yeah, the brave AI is not even answering it. They're like, fuck you, bigot. Hornswoggle. Thank you, Grok. Real name Dylan Postal. And the question I asked was, who is the midget who hates Peter Dinklage? Oh, no. That is funny. Hornswoggle. So you cast Hornswoggle as Mushroom and have him narrate House of the Dragon and narrate it as Mushroom. See, so what was funny about Mushroom in the book is you'd get the Septon's point of view, which is like the pious religious point of view. And then you get the Maester's point of view, which is the scientific establishment point of view. And then you get Mushroom talking about like, I taught Rhaenyra how to suck cock. And no, by having her suck his cock, not actually showing her. That's how he taught her. Hornswoggle as Mushroom. Should have done it. All right, let's get to some squaring up. Where were we? Okay, here we go. This is our first FNT back from Japan. God, it feels like we just got back from Japan. It's been great. One of the best things I've seen in the history of Twitter was the connection between the Japanese people and Americans all showing each other love, and then watching all the Germans and Scottish folk, just all the foreigners come here and enjoy America. I love every second of it. Watching the Japanese clean up after themselves at the stadium, which is something they do at home, and they are sure as hell going to do it here. And they know exactly what they're doing, by the way. They're being respectful, and they're also making America look bad and good, because shame is a good thing. We should clean up after ourselves after the movie theater, after the ball game. You know, it is possible to have a city that isn't full of trash. And I know some people, you know, just being contrarian, like, well, we're sick of all the Japan talk. Like, it's fucking awesome, right? It is awesome. And all the praise is deserved. It is not perfect. Tokyo wasn't as nice as like Osaka was really nice. Tokyo is too big to be nice. Too many tourists there, who I will blame. But it's awesome. Expedia customer survey for $10 says, hello, Mr. Passenger Ryan Kittle. We canceled your plane, Ricky Tiki Tavi, Shooty Taka, Masalada Butter, Garlic Mean. You know, give 5-star. Fuck you, sir. Give 5-star. It's Ryan, right? Like, I've honestly never had a problem with Expedia. Neither is my wife. Ryan manifests this stuff. So for real, AJ from the Y-Files needs to get a crew to follow Ryan around because he manifests this stuff. Now let's go to a deep cut here. Do you all remember The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul? I know all of you read it. Douglas Adams, the last Dirk Gently book, technically. What did it feature? It featured a lorry driver. Now, by the way, this is something that's mentioned in Hitchhiker that he brought back into The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul. So there's a lorry driver, a truck driver, and it's always raining on him. And why is it always raining on him? Because he's a rain god and doesn't know it. And he's just bitter because it's always fucking raining on him. That's what Ryan is. That's what Ryan is. Ryan is like the god of manifesting fucked up orders or something like that. And that's just what happens to him. And he doesn't know it. People often ask me whether Jeremy will go down in history. I think because that's why he was kicked out of high school. Says, okay, I'm going to read that again. That's a Ryan Kinnell. People often ask me whether Jeremy will go down in history. I think so, because that's why he was kicked out of high school. I get it now. Took me a second. Ryan Kittle for $10. Jeremy visited me today, but because I was jet lagged, I told him I was just going to hit the sack. True to form, that dumbass just stood there as I sucker punched him right in the sack. Ryan Kittle for $10. Jeremy told me to quit masturbating by going cold turkey, and that's why I will never eat leftover turkey from his fridge again. Query Poppins for $3 says, loyal lurker here. Thanks for covering the Stargate news. I'm disappointed and relieved at the same time. Love the panel. Hail. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know if it can be saved. The thing is, yeah, I mean, like, they're never going to get more interest in it than they are right now. And some dumb fuck just said no. I think ultimately it sucks for the people who worked on it, and it sounded like they were going in the right direction. But, somebody brought up that, hey, Amazon saved The Expanse. Not really. They didn't really save The Expanse because they didn't finish it. They didn't finish it. But I'm sorry what happened, Stargate fans. You deserve better. That is one passionate, healthy fan base. And I think you should kind of relish the fact that you are a healthy fan base. And it's going to get more people to watch Stargate. Yeah, The Expanse ending was that show fell hard. Beardo for $10. I appreciate that Jeremy is always trying to make ends meet, but I had to explain to him that's not how 69 works. Ryan's Japanese geisha boy for 20 says, Ryan-san, I rook for you, but you no longer here. Why you no car me? Psychotic Mongoose has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Travis Stevens has done the same. Thank you for donating $25. Big PD81 has gifted 1. Kink Hunt has donated 1. 21 Palika has donated 1. Thank you. Natra for 300 RSDs. Another thing about Japan, they have over 40 varieties of Kit Kats at any given time, and they invented hundreds of them. Yes, they're all over the place. Some are good, some are not. Magnum Norris for $5. God bless the 199 and God bless the fellowship. Have a great night. You too, Magnum Norris, and a day. You see, actor James Handy was Minecraft in his LA home by his girlfriend's son, Jumanji, The Rocketeer, etc. Another messed up LA 44-year-old kid claims another one. Yeah, it makes you wonder. Listen, I'm going to wonder what happened on both sides on that one. Okay? It's Hollywood, baby. But it's tragic. Another older Hollywood kid, dude. Nepo babies. Look at what Hollywood does to children. Look what that place. It makes you wonder what happens there. Wait until all the trans kids start getting older. I'm sure that's all going to work out well for Charlize Theron and David Tennant. It is so messed up. Somebody needs to do the math on that one. Aside from the 41%, somebody needs to do the math on how many celebrities have trans their kids over like what the general population does. It's probably the number is probably insane. Hell, meth is normal, chat. Meth would be getting on drugs. That's probably what he was on. Tundra Cat for $19.99. Very suspicious. Writings on the wall. Very suspicious ladders about to fall. Ryan's giant forehead broke the looking glass. Fast food always gets his order wrong. Good customer service in his past. They did get his order wrong at McDonald's in Japan, but they got mine wrong too. But did I yell at anybody? No. I walked up there and I said, "Excuse me, I think there's been a mistake. There was something missing." And damn it, they were bowing and they were like, "So sorry." And they gave us what we needed. Just got to be nice. Echoes of the Ancients for $2. Possums. Possums are wonderful. They eat a lot of ticks. They do. But Shad doesn't believe that. Alcius, not sure if I pronounced that right. I think The Northman is a misunderstood film. I think it is like a Western version of Kurosawa, an examination of warrior culture, not an action flick. I think it is a mythological tale. And yeah, it can be. It's not an action flick, but it's a damn good movie that I love. And I think Eggers really captured the surrealness, that's a word, of mythology in that. And I think he would have made a better Odyssey too. Magnum Norris for $10. I didn't mean to derail the show. Blame Tommy Robinson. Tom Morello, I guess, put a fuck Tommy Robinson thing at one of his shows. The very rich commie, the commie who was charging hundreds of dollars for Rage Against the Machine tickets, the commie who was compelling people to get the jab and wear masks. Yeah, that guy. Jacob Wolf for $4.99. People hated on Christopher Nolan casting Heath Ledger right after Gay Brokeback Mountain. Look how that movie turned out. A lot of people did hate on it. It did. I just don't think. I don't know how much Brokeback Mountain played into it. Probably a lot. I wasn't paying attention. I just think they thought he was wrong for the role. Like too young, too pretty. But he did great. Pegged Possum for $1.99. Are you certain you came home with correct X-ray girl? No. I'm not. To this point, I'm not. But I mean, as long as, she gets the job done, I don't care. Magnum Norris for $5. Comics doesn't even have to get on his knees to juggle these. Oh, wow. Jedi movie news reviews for $5. Gary, did you ever watch Lockout with Guy Pearce? It's an escape from New York, but in space. Maybe one and done, but definitely fun. I'll check it out. Nicole for $5. Does anyone know if they mentioned TADC? Our theater sold out of adjacent seats yesterday and today. I was an hour late. Thanks. I don't know what that's referring to. I disagree. I think the Odyssey is going to flop and lose money. I don't know a single person who wants to see it. Oh, there's a lot of people who want to see it. There's a lot of people who want to see it. Nolan has a lot of fans. Lockout is awesome. All right, I'll check it out. Jeremy will see it. Like I said in my video, he will personally make sure it gets to 800 million. My 3-year-old has Downs, and never in my life did we consider aborting when the ultrasound showed clubbed feet, which often means Down syndrome. Abortions for inconveniences are abhorrent, says Narco for $10. I agree. You don't know what life has planned out for you. So I believe in karma. Now, this is from fucking Chuckle Fuck. I don't know what his name is. And it could be a troll. The fervor has died down, and I haven't bothered looking into it. But it certainly could be a troll to get attention, whatever. But it did start the debate, and it did, shine a light on the percentage of people who actually do abort their kids because they're going to be, there's Down syndrome or something. And you don't know what life has set out for you. You can have a perfectly healthy kid and something bad happens. Life is full of inconveniences. It's how you react to those inconveniences that make it life. I don't know if I could travel with the fellowship. Love film, but not a nerd. My good time is having a cigar, sipping from a flask, and watching a Portuguese bullfight where they don't kill the bull. That is specific. You could travel with the fellowship. The fellowship travels well. I can't remember who said it, but at the meet, maybe it was ABF. I think ABF was there for sure. But the reason you travel well with the fellowship is you don't have to walk on eggshells. The fellowship. Everybody here can take a joke. They're not up their own ass, and yeah, you can be comfortable knowing that you're amongst friends. You're going to have a good time, and that most of them are unflappable, which is just a good trait to have. Felon of Detroit and half decomposed dead Achilles says, Tenet was so bad they played it for free in Fortnite while it was still in theaters. Really? I did not know that. Thank you, Daniel Moore. I was 10 when The Last Jedi came out. Even I knew Star Wars was dead. You're a youngster. Wolf Trapper is just the end game that Dave Filoni's dog has been warning us about. Yes. The plot of Obsession is the same thing that happened to people of Westview and WandaVision. Both are evil. I've got to see it. Dearest for $2. Script Doctor and Filoni should be fired day one. What did Script Doctor do? One flat tire and Ryan is back to his old self. Yes. Well, he came back home. Thunderstorm for $9.99. She looks and acts nothing like Supergirl. I think it will make $5. What's going to make more than $5? But Supergirl is going to, I think, flop. I think it's going to flop. I guess the real question is, What's going to make the least amount of money? Or generate. Generate. We're not talking about profitability. We're talking about box office tally. So what's going to make the least amount of money? Maybe we should do a poll. Well, I can't do a poll. X-Ray Girl's not here. Mandalorian and Grogu or Supergirl? I think the race is tight right now. I think they make the same amount of money. I think they make the same amount of money. No, He-Man isn't bad. He-Man isn't great, chat, but I don't think Tom did not like He-Man. I'm not really sure, but I kind of got the inkling that he might not have liked He-Man. I thought it was fine. It's not anything I'm going to remember or go back and see or care about. Him, man. There are some people who think it was absolute slop. But one thing is clear, and I think it showed that's an overvalued brand. There's certainly a passionate fan base for it, but it just doesn't have that much mass appeal. Where was I? It was an honor surviving Japan with y'all. The rocks were cool. The dweeb stuff was better. Probably bought too much, but at least I now understand women and shopping, says Hector. Dr. Trips for $9.99. Yes, you do. Anthony Head, 72, just died of pneumonia. Yes, Anthony Stewart Head, rest in peace. One of the best characters in Buffy, carried the show for the first 2 or 3 seasons. Great actor, was in Doctor Who, was in Merlin, was in a lot of stuff. Supergirl is a drunk because she can't make Kryptonian babies. It takes a superpowered Kryptonian to break her hymen. Says Clank Clank, I'm a tank for $5. Jackson Cagle for $5 just says buckle 5. A real jetpack in a Lex suit in the public walking downstairs from 50 feet up. Make a statement? No, I don't know what that means. Super Mastermind. This week in France, I saw the new trailer for Nolan's Odyssey at the cinema. The footage showed only white actors, so they might be afraid. That new trailer they showed before Disclosure Day, you see Lupita Nyong'o for like a frame. They are really kind of playing that down. Mythbusters had a test, big chest versus small chest for women. Who gets more? Surprise, surprise. Big chest got more. Surprise, surprise. Men gave 30% more and women gave 40% more. I just don't know why. You're not seeing the spelling as, but the men gave was spelled as one word separated by spaces. I don't know, maybe you're typing it from your phone, Judah. But thank you. Yeah, big tits sell. Red and blue mean good. Cobra was right all along, says Clink Clink, I'm a tank. Heartbroken, soul shaken, rectum destroyed. Don't ghost me, Shad, you heartless bastard. Trust me, you don't want me to release the photos of our night. Pegged possum for $4.99. Oh, shit. Release the photos, pegged possum. Defending truth for $2. State Ugg? She looks like the feral kid from Mad Max. Oh, Supergirl. Will Supergirl box office cancel Man of Tomorrow? No, but it will cancel James Gunn and the DCU. The DOJ has approved the Paramount Warner Brothers merger to the chagrin of Hollywood, who was actually rooting for it over Netflix until they weren't when they found out the political associations. Netflix would have never committed the theatrical like Paramount is going to continue. And the retards in Hollywood just thought Hollywood would move on the same if this sale didn't happen, which it wouldn't. You ended up saving jobs, you morons. I guess the biggest question is DC. not just the DCU. Which would need to restart for technically the 4th time within 15 years. I think we just passed the anniversary of Man of Steel, which came out 13 years ago. I think they just need to make Batman movies for a while. But what happens to DC Comics? Because now Paramount will own DC Comics. You know, Paramount made comics for a while. They did. Back in the 90s, if you guys remember. I'm looking up some information here. When did Paramount? I wonder if, I don't know if they did it with somebody, but I remember Paramount Comics because I bought some. Oh, it was okay. It was a sub imprint of Marvel. That's right. Yep, that's right. From 96 to 98. So DC Comics, which nobody is talking about, what does Paramount do with DC Comics? I'm guessing nothing right away. They're so insignificant. You know, DC can just produce absolute series, and then they can, like, when that isn't hardcore enough, they can do the extreme, absolute, ultimate Batman, where he just has guns for arms. Sad news about Stargate 1. The weirdos only want to greenlight entertainment that supports their ideology. AAA studios did layoffs last year, while gaming almost made $200 billion because of indie devs. Yeah, but they don't want to change. You have to have a desire to change. You have to you have to come to the realization, which they won't do, that maybe we were wrong here. They're not going to do that. Albert Not a Retro for 20 Canadian pesos, 100 million He-Man movie that is well made, can be a good investment because guys bring their girlfriends and wives who tell their friends to go see the movie because He-Man and Teela rocks and the fan base grows. Except that didn't happen. It didn't happen. He-Man is now behind. We just looked at it earlier. It's behind Obsession, and it is going to not do well. It is a flop. Now people are talking about cult classic, and maybe, but I kind of feel the same way about He-Man as I did Dungeons and Dragons. I didn't like it very much. A lot of people loved it, and there's no sequel on the way, is there? Didn't do very well. DC Comics and animated Supergirl is good. Why didn't they adapt that? Because they're stupid. Thunderstorm. They're dumb. I like Supergirl as a character, but I have no interest in Super Churl. Says Ginormous J for $5. Mr. Steela for $10 says, hope you guys had a great time in Nihon. Can't wait to hear how Ryan became gay, LOL. I watched the King David movie on Netflix, wondering if anyone has seen it. I haven't. Giving Disney a run for its money. Interesting. I have not seen it. Passport with us for £5 Ryan was happy to see Nifflers in Tokyo at Harry Potter store, but as soon as he saw one in Orlando, his day was ruined. UK when? I don't know. Next year for sure. It's either in April or September. But we will get you that information as soon as we can. We got a little while. I got to get a meetup worked out. I got to get our fucking meetup worked out because the Punk Rock Museum backed out on us last minute within 25 minutes of the announcement. You can read into that all you like. Shad, get on the phone to your bros and tell them to give the Legos back. You know, we've been telling them. I don't know what happened there. It seems like, was it CoffeeZilla got involved? Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. And it seemed like there was starting to be a little fuckery on both sides, but I'm not sure. I didn't look into it very much. Did they give the Legos back? Well, I was watching a little what was it? Nicholas Diorio was talking about it. And he was going over being critical, like being objectively critical of both sides on some stuff, but I can't say I know enough about it to give you an informed opinion. Have the Vegas meetup in the parking lot of the Punk Rock Museum? No, fuck them, you know? Seriously, fuck them. And I like, if it's something that doesn't work out, and this has happened before, it's like it doesn't work out. It's fine, you know? In this case, we've had people who booked their flights, booked their time. My wife put 2 to 3 weeks of work into this with meetings, going, waiting for approval from board members, because nothing says punk rock like waiting for approval from board members. But they're a nonprofit, so we get it, right? And there were some people who were really nice working with it. This is some other random dude who came in and just said, yeah, we misquoted you because this is going to require more security and we didn't account for overtime. So the event's canceled. And not even like, could you give us more money? So I responded saying, I'll pay for that extra security. No problem. No problem. We have been ghosted since then. And by the way, our deposit hasn't been returned, as far as I know. As of this morning, our deposit has not been returned. So normally I wouldn't say anything publicly because sometimes just shit doesn't work out. It's fine. But when this really reeks of somebody looking, by the way, they knew. We go into all of the events going, this might bring you a little heat. We do all of that. So they knew, but it looks like somebody else found out. And that's what I'm going to assume happened. Because, again, it's very suspicious that cancellation that was very swift came within 25 minutes of me announcing it. So even if they work things out, I don't want to go there anymore. I have no desire. So we'll find another place. And, you know, usually we go through the process of, hey, we try to find a bar that doesn't charge us, and we guarantee, you know, like we buy a certain amount of alcohol for everybody and it's all fun and they have the best night ever. But if worst case scenario, I'll just rent a place out. I'll just rent a place out. What the fuck? Doesn't X-Ray Girl give her opinion ever? She does. Blue Origin regretted using those recycled pager parts from Israel. This is next. As Elon said, rockets are hard. I'm imagining a sequel to PCU. What would the Top Gun Maverick of PCU look like? Do the main characters try to save their kids from Berkeley? We need a movie like PCU that would act like the Blazing Saddles of wokeness. And how Hollywood is too cowardly to do it. You would need comedy's hard. Comedy is very hard. I think it's the most difficult art form, because how humor lands with certain people. Now, I probably, because I grew up on it, I'm a big fan of British humor, because it's a lot more thoughtful, a little more clever. You know, what's British humor? You guys know, but what's British humor? Watching Monty Python and you have philosophers playing soccer and they're just thinking about kicking the ball. It's funny shit. That is fucking funny shit. Faulty Towers. In the 2021 dev builds of Wolverine, Team X was a team with Wolverine, Mystique, Sabretooth, Deathstrike, and Omega Red, led by Mr. Sinister in 1984. As far as I know, it's not an X-Men replacement, says Daniel. Okay. Glad you and Ryan got to go see Japanese baseball game. I went when I was stationed in Japan, and it was great. If you've not done it, watch Mr. Baseball. It was filmed in Japan when I lived there. I've seen Mr. Baseball. The Napa Boys is the comedy you all need. The Great Gangelico. Okay, let's check out this. He's been shouting out the Napa Boys like he worked on it. The Napa Boys came out in 2026. What's it about? Plot presented as the Napa Boys 4. The summary is the Summerall's Amulet. The film follows a trio of wine-obsessed characters who go on an adventure through California wine country. They start with high-stakes wine competition, and the series escalates to absurd set pieces. Okay. So it's like literally the Napa wine country. Well, there's a lot to make fun of in Napa. I'll tell you that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. Has anybody seen the Napa Boys? Because the Great Gangelico has been shouting it out for like 3 weeks. Please bring back Adam is your friend. Please bring back Chrissy. She doesn't deserve to be canceled. Not canceled. Just an aspect for $9.99. Thanks, team, for taking me through the oh my God. Thanks, team, for taking me. Well, thanks, team, for talking to me while having a gallbladder scan. Pretty nervous, so appreciate it. When did you have a gallbladder scan? When did you have a gallbladder scan? Okay. A scary movie without Carmen Electra isn't worth going to see. I agree. Danny Elfman needs some attention, says Halifax Craig for $2.79. Cheers. MacGyver for $2. Hollywood is on life support and may not recover. It may not recover. It won't recover, not in the state, not what it used to be. Hollywood as we knew it is gone. Hollywood as we knew it is gone. It'll survive in some form or another, but it will be, as far as the centralized form of entertainment, those days are done. You're seeing the shift now. Amazon MGM can burn for canceling Stargate for being based. Yeah, that's I don't think they understand, like, everything they're putting, like with Spider Noir, which I like, on all the posts now that I've seen, it's please bring back Stargate, bring back Stargate. Yeah, they woke a sleeping giant with that one. Meme Machine 2000 for £5 British pounds. RIP Anthony Head, Giles and Buffy, Ted Lasso, Little Britain, utterly gutted, great actor, kind and brilliant. I miss him too. Albert Not a Retro for $5. Just because you have a crush on Ryan's sellout Gosling doesn't make Barbie based. It is to feminism what 1919's Birth of a Nation is to the KKK. Oh, Barbie's not great. Gaia Ray for $10. He-Man may very well be Starship Troopers scenario where the creators intended to criticize and deconstruct the masculinity end up creating something wholeheartedly masculine. Okay. I didn't read it that way. I think they were leaning into the absurdity of what they believe is the absurdity of the brand while trying to be a little earnest, but not much. I know Shad and others have seen this as like this some based masculine thing, and I see there's masculinity in it, But I didn't get all that. That's not what I got out of it. But maybe I'm media illiterate. What do I know? Could we not have gotten a hotter, more charismatic actor to play He-Man like Chris Hemsworth? Dude who went to see Barbie at least got to go look at Margot Robbie. Women get to see soft, goofy-looking dude. Thought he's all right. Mad Dog for $4.99. Disbrew and Fake Wizard. The curtain is red. What does that mean? Let me teach this centuries later. Jesus, you guys could deep dive into everything too much. I mean, that's the show. That's exactly what we do. We deep dive into things too much. That's exactly what we do. I remember, and just be ready for it. It's coming later in the year. Somebody came in and was like, "You've been talking about the Rings of Power for 2 hours." It's like, and we will talk about it for 2 more hours. That's the show. That's the show. And I appreciate Fake Wizard and Disbrew's autism, and that's why they're on the show. A Commander Ed Straker of Shadow for $4. He-Man movies opinions are so different. Like folks are seeing 2 different movies. Aerosolized LSD spray in the theater. In the air conditioning during the movie? I don't know. That's probably coming from the hardcore fandom who would know more about it than I would. I wasn't into He-Man when I was younger. I was into Thundercats and all that other shit. I was not a He-Man guy. Never have been. Mad Dog for $4.99. The comic book store scene, I laughed out loud multiple times. I have no knowledge of He-Man. I'm Gen Z, but I like I said, I liked it and hope it does well. Oh, yeah. I don't hate it. So Jan Callum has gifted 1 British pound, proper British money. When nerd arguing means it's probably worth it. Well, yeah. I mean, that's normal. I mean, people act like that doesn't happen with almost every fucking movie that comes out. Even with, like, I don't know, when Dark Knight came out, we were at the store and everybody's just praising the shit out of it. There was always one guy who came in and went, "Fucking overrated movie." And some of you might agree with him. Today's reading, the Book of Az, chapter 7. If my figs, who are aroused by my name, will bow themselves, seek my dangus, and turn from the boring ways, then I will hear from slough. What the hell's that? And I will forgive the hetero ways. Amen. Says the Grand High Spurg of Dawn for 20 British pounds. Big Worm for $20 says, looks amazing, but it missed the target larger audience. As a young boy, I saw He-Man as a role model like Optimus and Transformers. Say what you will about LA Transformers #1. Or live action Transformers #1. It captured the cartoon's audience proper. Albert Nada Retro for $5. Do the same thing with She-Ra and see how the feminists react. I don't think they're going to be getting that chance. Tom's video had a muffled quality to his audio. I have a similar issue with my videos. What are we doing wrong? Well, it depends on how you heard it. If we were sharing it through, StreamYards, it might sound muffled to you. But if things are sounding muffled, then it depends on what you're using as either a sound board or it depends on your mic. It depends on your mic. your mic settings, your gain settings. But if it is muffled, there is something wrong. I get that people like the fun version. I wanted a He-Man where I could get into it like I was a kid, take it seriously. I don't want to laugh. I want to root for them, worry for them. And Tila et al. Should be smoke shows. Well, she wasn't bad looking. Yeah, so you wanted a more earnest He-Man. I think that's what a lot of people wanted, and they didn't get it. So the gist of it is they may have turned out. So the gist of it is it may have turned out kind of good despite the woke. What, He-Man? There wasn't any well, okay. There's a race swap, so that's woke. But there's intersectional feminism in He-Man. Yes, a little teeny bit. Not enough to get like super upset about. Cupid Stunt was a character on the Kenny Everett show. I never understood as a kid why all the grown-ups laughed when she came on, said English Batchers. First, we are forced to play mixtape, and now Anthony Head is gone. Truly a tragic timeline. Time to brew a comforting cuppa, everyone. Disbrew, Luke, Vader, and Dritz. Do Erden all have empathy? What the fuck? Disbrew, Luke, Vader, and Drizzt. Do Erden all have empathy? That's what it wrote. It's just if it is used correctly in the hero story. Erden. God bless X-Ray Girl. She just copies and pastes. She doesn't fix a fucking thing. Growing up, I was a Ghostbusters fan, so thanks to the opening scene in Ghostbusters 2, I have never liked He-Man. Speaking of Ghostbusters, we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of Ghostbusters 2016, and I will be doing a review. Skeletor will return from an alternate timeline, says fake Asian wizard Black Jonas. Paul, do you like Calgary to beat Winnipeg tonight in the CFL? Oh, is Paul Chato. It's like Canadian football? Or, yeah, CFL, Canadian Football League. Who cares? Southeastern Kaiju for $1.99. Tom faked all of his O faces. Take that, He-Man. Summit. I can't pronounce that. For $4.99. Loved FNT last week. One of the funniest shows. Az was amazing as a host and couldn't stop laughing with Shad pegging possums. Bad Mormon. Albert Not a Retro for $10. I haven't seen it, but from the way I remember Shad describing Adam as being described as a clown, and it isn't an act, I decided not to go see this film. Okay. Oh boy, I can't wait to watch Super Guns James Girl. Ooh, that's pretty good. Natrum says Skeletor will return in Avengers Doomsday. Welcomed to two newborn lambs to the farm yesterday. Hail, Mick. That's great. Named them Foxtrot and Tango, or FNT for short. Thanks for keeping me company while working on the farm. Hail. Oh, man. There you go. A little applause there. Hail to the farmers. We're out there in the fields, being retarded, keeping you company. I like that thought. Look, Tom is a little bit wacky. Remember, he likes Superman's James Gunn, and he believes the budget that James lied about. So opinion into this, into the bin. Hail. That's from Mexi Rage. Tom clarified that he's not mad at Gary. I don't think he's mad. We talked. We were on a live stream together. Measured Move for $5. Kids and I love Backrooms and TADC. Going solo to Obsession tomorrow. 3 movies in 1 week. What timeline are we in? Gary, is it CERN? Maybe CERN fixed things. Yes, we're getting good stuff. We're actually getting good stuff. What have I liked this year so far? A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Project Hail Mary, Spider Noir, One Piece Season 2, Oh, and fucking Dutton Ranch is awesome. Dutton Ranch. I love it. Can't wait for the next episode. My cowboy soap opera is fucking awesome. Somebody, I think it was Nurkish, asked if there's any like hick libs. I think that's the term. No, there's like a couple of lines, but as it stands right now, it's not as bad as Yellowstone. Now, Annette Bening's in it, and she's in charge of a ranch. But she's pretty good. You know what? She's better than she is as Marvel. She's playing a role she should play. Like, I don't know if it's a widow. She's in charge of a ranch, and she looks like she's the girl boss, but clearly somebody else is in charge based on one phone call they had. And I'm wondering if that guy's like cartel because she has, we'll find out. We'll find out. Ed Harris is great in it. I didn't even know he was in it until I saw him on a thumbnail. I'm like, what fuck? Ed Harris is in this? Annette Bening is, she's married to Warren Beatty. She's from La Jolla, California. And she was going to be Catwoman, right? And then she broke her arm or something. Was it Catwoman or now? It's a Batman character for sure. Yes. So Annette Bening was originally cast as Catwoman in Tim Burton's 1992. I knew I remembered this right. It's been a minute though. She accepted the role and even underwent body casting for the iconic latex suit, but had to drop out due to a surprise pregnancy. So she didn't break her arm. She got knocked up. With her husband, Warren Beatty. She got knocked up. And then we got Michelle Pfeiffer. And everything worked out. She got a kid. We got Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. And it worked out for the best. You know what needs, it's a random thought now. This is how my brain works. You know what needs to be in 4K like tomorrow? Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. That fucking movie. I love that movie. Absolutely love that movie. And Warren Beatty is, like Annette Bening, is a fucking Hollywood liberal twat. But damn, that was a good movie. She was good in Grifters. You know, people need to see Grifters and figure out the true sense of the word of what it actually means. Because usually the people issuing the accusation are the grifters themselves. But maybe we don't tell them and we just kind of let it go. Grifters was a very good movie. Yeah, so she got pregnant. I don't know why I thought she got injured for some reason, but she got pregnant. But Dick Tracy, there's no 4K version. I think it's in like rights hell, and I think Warren Beatty occasionally records something to maintain the rights, and I kind of like that. But I thought the movie was cool as hell. That's when he was dating Madonna. R.I.P. Anthony Head. Giles was a boss. Giles was a boss. I actually, there it is. Yeah, I took out his sideshow action figure is now prominent. I'm going to be changing this background. I know you guys don't like change. And neither do I. It frightens me. But we're going to reduce the comic book emphasis. There's still going to be a bunch of action figures. No shame to my game. But we're going to make it more TV and film in the background. I've already started. If you can see. There we go. Got Conan. Man with No Name. Mad Max, Rambo, Godfather, Chuck Norris missing in action. So yeah, we're moving towards more cinematic and film. and fewer soups. And none of you have probably noticed, to be honest with you. I just watched He-Man today. Some of it was good. Some of it not so much. I like the appearance of Pig Boy, but it would have been better if they had the original Boy Man to play him. I don't know these characters. I said it on Friday Night Tights. No disrespect to He-Man fans, but I always saw it as like really gay. It's just Thundercats was cooler. Now, He-Man was supposed to be Conan. They ended up doing a Conan cartoon. But I wasn't into He-Man. I don't know. Why are you asking me? Are you saying Conan is gay? Conan is the least fucking gay thing ever written. Are you kidding me? Conan doesn't get made because it's too masculine. I think I'm in the very strange position where I like the IP, but I also just don't care to see the movie, whether it's good or bad. I'll just wait for streaming, says Mexi Rage. All right. TJ Krennic for $2 says, hey, yeah. Hey, what's going on, Tex? Chud Rowe for $20 says, welcome back from Japan. Az and crew did a great job holding it down last week. Yes, they did. FNT, not the possum. That was just Shad. I hope everyone had a blessed Killdozer day yesterday as well. Hail FNT. Henry Nowak of the US of A. Thoughts on Family Mart in Japan? I like Family Mart. They really like their former US convenience stores over there. And the 7-Elevens are better, like objectively better. I talked about it last night on Forbidden Frontier. I looked into it. It can't be done, but getting a 7-Eleven franchise, finding the right location, getting a 7-Eleven franchise and making it a Japanese 7-Eleven, completely Japanese. Manga, big manga section, maybe a little Japanese porn on the bottom, and then stock it with all the shit they stock for the most part. And it depends on where you are. Like if they did that in like near Japantown in San Francisco, it would do very well. But if you do it in, I don't know, my part of town, probably wouldn't do very well. We'll see. You still get big gulps. I think it'd be fun, but not possible. Gary, I'm off to Vietnam. Why? Is Charlie in the trees? At the end of June, my wife and I will celebrate our first wedding anniversary in Japan for 10 days to my beautiful Vietnamese wife. While none of you know her, hail to her and many years together. Hail to her. Hail to the Vietnamese. I got a quarter Vietnamese son. Hail to the Vietnamese. I forgot how Az mispronounced it now, or I'd do that. Ryan went to a 95% homogenous country and was happy for a week. Funny how that happens, isn't it? Well, we all were. We all were. Hey, we had a brother on our tour, and he felt the same way. Oh, yes, that's how he said it. That's how he said it. Vietnamese. He said Vietnamese. Oh, no. Thanks for the reminder, Hale. Transformers. Hell, I thought that was a GoBot. Was trying to remember the name. Oh, that was Michael's video. Sorry, I got a cough. Dude, I still got the leftover freaking Japan crud. This is ridiculous. It's been like 2 weeks. RIP Anthony Stewart Head, the Ultimate Watcher. See, it didn't help. Hang on. That's better. Hail, Gary. No luck on finding a dirge in Akibara. No. I'll find one though. I'm on the hunt for Az. Not for Az, for a toy for Az. A toy for Az. Hail all. Would love to join you in Japan, but I'm still recovering from my lumbar fusion after getting hit by a forklift in 2023. Forklift guy. You have any trips planned for next year? Because I would love to join and meet y'all. Yeah, for the UK. We're doing the UK, and it's going to be like a hybrid megalithic nerd trip. We'll be doing more of those. Why didn't you take real life fake wizard to his homeland in Japan? He didn't ask to go. Maybe we'll go next time. I'm going to see real life fake wizard at the Southeastern Gaming Exchange. Let's see if I can get that website up. Hang on. Southeastern Gaming Exchange. I'm supposed to plug this more. There it is. There it is. Okay. Here we go. I will be at the Southeast Game Exchange 2026 from July 17th through 19th in Greenville, South Carolina. With Critical Drinker. Real Fake Wizard's going to be there. I don't know in what capacity. I know he's helped putting it on or something. But yeah. I'm going to be there giving basically, I will give my one and only symposium on my gamer tips. This will be the first and last time you will ever get them from, the god of gaming. That's me. So you don't want to miss it. Because usually a good tradesman will keep, his tricks close to the vest, but I'm going to share them with you this one time. This one time, I'm going to share them with you, and you will be it's not about just being a better gamer. You'll be a better man. Even if you're a woman, you'll be a better man. I don't know. Maybe that's, you'll be a better human being after my talk. That's right. Tickets on sale now. Meet some of your favorite characters. What character is this guy on the left? Oh, Red Dead Redemption. That's cool. Let's see. Contact guests. Let's go to guests. We got Roger Clark. I don't know who that is. Steve J. Palmer. Oh, yeah. Steve J. Palmer. Totally know him. Patricia Somerset. Yeah. Oh, this fucker. Create. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Me and Drinker right next to each other. I'm sure that made everybody else happy. They forgot to put pro gamer. And I'm a little upset about that. Oh, look, there he is, Real Fake Wizard. That's our boy. Appearing all weekend. Who else is there? Who are these people? Do I recognize anybody else? Who's Retro Rick? I see he's got some retro games. Macho Nacho Productions. Secret Castle Toys. Do you guys know who any of these people are? I mean, they're saying the same about me, which is fine. Yeah, but it's good that they chose me over like somebody like Jeremy or like a real gamer. That's July 17th through 19th, the week before Comic-Con, which apparently I'm going to now. No Dan Vasc. Well, Dan Vasc is stuck in his godforsaken country where he's constantly running from starving dogs and children and bathing in the town pond, which also acts as his septic tank. We're almost done here. God, there was a lot. You guys were very generous while I was gone. Oh, and when we came back. R.I.P. Giles. There we go. Good question for another time. Bongo may have been cast as Helen of Troy, but Ellen Page as Achilles stinks of Hollywood. Bait and switch to troll fans. Hashtag watch Troy instead. R.I.P. Noack and Anthony Head. Troy, the director's cut is like the theatrical version. I didn't love. I like the director's cut, and I've watched it a couple of times. Wish there was more gods in it or any gods in it, but I thought it was fine. Odyssey, is the Odyssey going to flop? I don't think the Odyssey is going to flop, guys. But man, if I'm wrong, fucking call me out. Go, we told you. Sweet summer child. You put too much faith in that Nolan guy. And I think this could be the film where more people start openly saying, because a lot of people have already said it, there's going to be, listen, Fringy and a lot of guys on EFAP are going to tell you right now, Nolan's overrated. And I think in some things he is. I think in some things he is. Nolan! I think his films lack levity. I think his films can be too sterile. They lack a swagger to them. I think his films are badass. Some of them can be completely badass, but they're missing like mojo. I think that's the one thing that's consistently missing from his movies is a little bit of mojo. They're very serious. You thought his Two-Face sucked? I thought it was okay. I liked it. I mean, his movies were, this is Batman in a very fixed amount of time, and it's a story that ends. And we comic fans go, wait a minute, this story doesn't end. It goes on forever. Mojo Nixon. San Diego legend, Mojo Nixon. Elvis is everywhere. I'm trying to think. I'm Googling Mojo Nixon. And it's like, what's his net worth? What, $5? I mean, poor guy. Elvis is everywhere. Elvis is everything. Elvis is everybody. Elvis is still the king. He's still around. What the hell? I'm trying to think of my favorite song by Mojo. Yeah, I could probably just look it up on YouTube. Mojo's from San Diego, right? And he was popular when I was growing up. Stuffing Martha's muffin. Where the hell's my money? Are you drinking with me and Jesus? Debbie Gibson is pregnant. Don Henley must die. There's another song, though. Oh, yeah. Okay. Happy Boy. But that's not Mojo Nixon. That was, who in the hell did Happy Boy? God, I'm getting old. Beat Farmers did Happy Boy. That was the other San Diego band. Beat Farmers with Country Dick Montana. Love Happy Boy. Dead Scene for $5. Hearing Ryan lament leaving a proper civilized nation and returning to the degradation that has become the U.S., we can return. Degradation is a choice. Yes, we can. It shows that it's possible, but you would have to enforce rules. You would have to deal with, Japan has a homeless problem, but not like ours. Ours is made worse because of the homeless industrial complex. Politicians are making money off of homeless people. So they're paid per head. That's why they're actually counting them now. So they're paid. It's treated like, students in school. So they're paid per head, just like prisons. They're paid per head. So they have now incentivized cities to grow the homeless population so we can get more, so they can get more money to waste and use. Gavin Newsom really started this. He was paying the homeless cash when I arrived in San Francisco, $400 cash every 2 weeks. And things got really bad. Then he ended it and they left. But homeless people from other cities were coming to San Francisco. But it is possible. But the powers that be, mainly in American cities, which are going to, Democrat will be conservative very soon. Now, I saw this coming when I left San Francisco, but most of the cities, if not all, but most, will be run by socialists within the next 10 years. Everyone will have a socialist mayor. They'll have a socialist city council. We're seeing it with New York. We're seeing it with Los Angeles. We're seeing it with Seattle. That's just happening. And if you see the amount of people voting, you understand why. Nobody votes. Nobody fucking votes. LA, 3-4 million people that are counted in that area. And what was it? 300,000 voted. But amazingly enough, all the homeless people voted for Top Ramen. I think Steve Hilton might have a slight chance in California as governor, but the fix will be on, as long as there's mail-in ballots, you can guarantee a Republican will not win until the Republicans figure out a way to weaponize the mail-in ballots. And that's the problem. When one side starts cheating, another side will start cheating, and then we lose. We lose because we start losing trust in the elections, which is exactly what they want, the machine, the government, the state. They want us to lose faith in elections so they can come in with another solution that will guarantee their power. You see how this works? Spencer Pratt got fucked. And if you walk around in California and ask a random person, most people don't like Gavin Newsom, yet he always wins. And the only people that like Gavin Newsom are the people in power or the extremely rich. But then they're saying they're going to take from the rich, which they are going to do, but they're not going to take from their rich friends. They're going to take from their rich enemies. You see how this? Larry Elder was robbed too. Yes. But those were mail-in ballots. I told the story before. I was streaming from San Diego. I'm like, I got 5 ballots from 5 different people at the house I was in, at the house I was renting. And it was all the people who ever lived there. And they're doing it right in front of our faces. And they're like, what the fuck are you going to do about it? Yeah, they're supporting an ex-Nazi. Guy still has the tattoo. You know, you can remove that tattoo. Hail FNT, Deborah Ann Wall cannot catch a break. Her role as Karen Page sucks now. And Luffy, I don't know how to say it. She is a middle-aged soccer mom with a cube named Frank. And she's still really hot. Josh Kelsey has dropped $19.99. That's what he does. He walks away. Callum G for 20 British pounds. Hey, Gary, when you was away, I read your book and watched you on the Y-Files. I have even more respect for you than before for being so honest. Thank you. I hope you, Melissa, and the kids have long, happy lives. Hail to the fellowship. Oh, thanks, Callum. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for getting the book, and thanks for watching the Y-Files interview. And it really became easier. I mean, it wasn't easy to talk about that stuff at first, but once I've done it many, many, many times in speaker meetings, it became much more easier to discuss. And I think it's important to discuss, but I hope I pulled it off in the book. I really wanted to get into the solution, right? That's why I didn't want to just write a zippity-doo-dah, this is how I made it on YouTube, because like in the grand scheme of things, like knowing full well that with over 1 million subs and the amount of engagement I get, thanks to you guys, I'm in the top 1% of YouTube. But on the bottom of that, because we have Mr. Beast with 500 million subs. So, and there's certain things I still do wrong, which I'm fine with. But I really wanted it to hopefully be something, I don't know if inspirational is the word, but something that people can read and know that they're, despite some very obvious exceptions, it's never too late to turn things around. Mind the oranges, Marlon. Mind the oranges. Has anybody figured out what they're for? I loved it. My only complaint is when they turned and yelled before leaving with Tila. We didn't have a short montage of all the people on Earth watching it live. Could have been good. One F-word moment, says Mad Dog for $9.99. Yeah. For me, it went to cartoony at the end, and I get what they were poking fun at. And maybe that played well with some of the fans, but for me, I was just like, oh, I don't think that's very funny, but that's me. Please keep your Legos and possums safe, says Bubba Doom for $5. I'm kind of relieved that the Stargate cancellation. There was a time when I wanted my favorite series to be adapted, but definitely not now, says Varn. My second favorite series after Tolkien's Legendarium, the Drene Saga, is outright unadaptable currently. Let's just start with the first book. Like the setting of the first book is about an invading force attacking a declining empire. The invaders are a fantasy version of Mongolian horde. The main character, one of two, being an aged axeman who has been invited by a dying friend and literally death to participate in a doomed siege. Does not help that there are only noteworthy. There are only two noteworthy female characters. It helps me wanting to read the story. One is a psychopath, basically too masculine, a story to adapt and not ruin. Gremmel also has a fantasy Troy trilogy, or Gemmel. Well, I mean, you've had Conan out there for years now, a fully developed world, a fantasy world that was published before Tolkien, developed right around the same time, but published before Tolkien, and they haven't done shit with it. And the stories are there. Like you can make Conan a TV show. You can make it a series of movies. You can do both. And they haven't done shit with it. Cole Hauser for $5 says, hail FNT. As non-He-Man fan, this was a great movie, far superior than Transformers and G.I. Joe live action. Have to say my favorite movie of the year. Do I like He-Man more than I like Michael Bay's first Transformers? I'm going to say no. I like Michael Bay's first Transformers. I do. I mean, as a Transformers adaptation, not great, but I like the movie. R.I.P. Anthony Stewart Head from Alex Belfour for $2. Masters of the Universe may bomb, but it looks like it might develop a cult classic status similar to John Carter. Maybe. John Carter's fucking awesome. Most of the people I talked to liked it. Like, vast majority. Campia math is that Supergirl needs only $370 million to break even. And he also said today that the math is production budget plus marketing times 1.5 break even. And he probably learned that from Rob. So I think that is the nicest estimate I ever heard. And I think there is a possibility that it doesn't even hit that. But I will also remind John and everybody who talks about the break-even point, films are not made to break even. They're made to make money. So even if it makes $372 million worldwide, it is still a failure. We're talking about starting the DCU, the second movie of the DCU. And I'll set it and I'll stick with it. Spider-Man Brand New Day will make more than Superman and Supergirl combined. And I think by a lot. So let's just go with those low estimates, and Supergirl breaks even at 370. I don't know if it gets to 370. I don't know if it gets to 370 because let's see, July 2026. No, let's go June. No, we'll go July 2026 theatrical releases. Supergirl comes out on the 26th, 24th. It's got a release on the 24th. So theatrical releases. Major theatrical releases in July 2026 include Minions and Monsters, July 1st, the following week. Moana, live action, July 10th, the second week after that. And The Odyssey, July 17th. And then that's followed by Spider-Man Brand New Day by July 31st. I think by July 31st, Supergirl is on VOD. That is some pretty big competition. Other notable releases, Young Washington, Evil Dead Burn, so Minions and Monsters will beat Supergirl in its second week. Moana will probably put it to third or fourth place, depending if Obsession is still around or not. It may be. The Odyssey will put it to fourth or fifth. Spider-Man Brand New Day will end it. So it better have a really fucking good opening weekend. A really good opening weekend. Oh, my wife is going to want to see Minions and Monsters. She likes the Minions. R.I.P. Anthony Stewart Head from Bill Galactica. I am watching while putting together my Minas Tirith Lego set. Hail, geek time extraordinaire, says Brandon Law. Enjoy. West 422 for $5 is Noons Ryan's girlfriend? That is a question for, I don't do domestics. Zombie Dude for $5. Is it cringe to own Funko Pops? A person I talked to recently who collected action figures seemed disappointed that I collected them. I'm disappointed in you too, to be honest with you. Are there any of you going to Dragon Con? I'm going to try to go and possibly give a letter to Tennant expressing my disappointment in modern Doctor Who. He will see it as an assault. And recommend Gary's great video on the downfall of Doctor Who, says Zombie Dude. I don't think he'll watch it. I don't think I'll be going to Dragon Con. Undead Nerd, 2 parts for $10. When I went to Japan a year before Gary and Ryan, I was in the hotel yard. A night later, I find out that I wasn't supposed to because it was a private property. I learned that because the cop yelled at me to get out. I met the cop face to face. I was worried I was going to become a white George Floyd, but the cop in his language said, "Don't do it again." There you go. Shad is like Graham Plantner. If you break into his house, he'll grape you. Human, animal, doesn't matter. The dildo of consequences rarely comes lubed. Wow. Wow. All right. And we wrap it up there. Woo, 3 hours. That one went long. Let's get to some of the member chats. Thank you very much, members. Looking at a truck, ask Shad to send you a 70 Series Land Cruiser 79 4-door semi-flatbed awesomeness. Christ, I want that one so bad. Screw metric, though. That would be nice. But some of those classic cars now are fully restored are as much as a brand new one. Yeah, I'm going to go look at a car right after this. I'm heading out right after this. Well, not a car. I don't buy cars. I'm looking at a truck. Oh, my God. I go to 2 places and now they're fucking blowing up my phone every day. And it's like, I'm going to have to deal with that for a couple months. Paul is better and more accurate Disclosure movie than Disclosure. I agree. Paul is a funny movie. Mr. Shenanigans, welcome. Thank you for being a new member. I'll be at Elkhart Lake, just west of Sheboygan at the race. Be at turn 6. What race? Elkhart Lake. How far is that from Sheboygan? The Road America race? I mean, that's really outside of Sheboygan. So it's east of Sheboygan. There you go. I'm in the general area of Sheboygan, but not in Sheboygan. We are kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it's great. Can't wait to get up there. I love Wisconsin in the spring and summer. Not a big fan in the winter. Not a big fan in the winter, but Wisconsin's great in the spring and summer. Melissa and Junior, I'm alone. I've got no dogs or anything right now. Toyota, they are. But when it comes to trucks, I'm kind of a Dodge guy. I guess. Heaven, says Trish. It's an IndyCar race. Okay. Cool. Hell yeah. Making some content is a new member. Thank you very much. Jesus Davila has gifted 1 Nerdrotic Live membership. Thank you very much. And hang on. I want this cold to go away. Audiobook coming soon. I'm going to start recording it very soon because I do have a soundproof place in Wisconsin now. Hang on. Sorry. God, this is getting old. It's been hanging on since Japan. So I'm going to wrap it up there because my voice is going now. So thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. You help keep the lights on. I'm going to go look for a truck and try not to get annoyed by car salesmen because I kind of know what I want. I always tell them to fuck off and just leave me alone. And we'll see you tomorrow on The Real BBC on Az's channel. Pretty sure it's on Az's channel. With Molly. And we'll have a lot to talk about. But until next time, thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day.